You felt it, that quiet burn in your chest. Not loud, not reckless, but deep. A fire that doesn't roar, it whispers. The Sigma male doesn't rage like others. He doesn't scream, doesn't break. He watches, he listens, and in the stillness, he knows betrayal, disrespect, injustice. They cut deeper than knives, not because he's weak, but because he sees the world for what it is. A machine that rewards noise, punishes depth. He's been overlooked, underestimated, pushed aside by those who mistake his silence for surrender. But they don't know. They can't see. The spark has been lit. This is not revenge born of ego, not the petty clash of fragile pride. This is something ancient, sacred, a man reclaiming his worth. When a Sigma male takes revenge, the world doesn't hear it coming. It's not a storm. It's a shift in the earth itself. Slow, deliberate, unstoppable. He doesn't need to shout. His actions will speak, and when they do, the world will pause. What happens when a man like this decides enough is enough? When the quiet one, the lone wolf, chooses to act, 7 things unfold, 7 truths emerge, and none of them are what you expect. The Sigma male doesn't chase revenge like a hunter chasing prey. He builds it, brick by brick, thought by thought, a cathedral of purpose, rising from the ashes of what was done to him. He doesn't lash out. He plans every slight, every wound, every lie. He studies them, not with anger, but with clarity, like a chess master. He sees 10 moves ahead. Others fight for applause. He fights for truth, not the truth the world sells cheap, loud, and fleeting. His truth, the kind that anchors a man's soul. He asks himself, what was taken from me? Time, respect, dignity. And then he answers, I will take it back, not with fists, not with words, but with choices. Every step he takes now is deliberate. Every decision, a brick in his monument. He becomes the architect of his own justice, not because he wants to destroy, but because he refuses to be destroyed. The world expects him to break, to beg, to conform, but he's done bending. He's done waiting for permission. His revenge is his refusal to let their rules define him. And in this refusal, he finds something sacred, a fire that doesn't consume him, but forges him stronger, sharper, unbreakable. Silence is his weapon, not the silence of fear, not the silence of defeat, but the silence of power. The world is loud. Voices clamor for attention. Egos scream for validation, but he stands apart. His quiet is deafening. They notice it now. The ones who wronged him, the ones who thought he'd stay small. His absence is louder than their noise. His restraint, more powerful than their chaos. They expected him to react, to shout, to fight, to prove himself, but he doesn't. He moves in the shadows, not hiding, creating. Every choice he makes now, every step he takes, is a message, not to them, but to himself. I am enough. I am whole. I am free. The world begins to see it. The way he carries himself, the way he no longer chases their approval. His silence isn't empty. It's heavy, weighted with purpose, weighted with resolve. And those who hurt him, they feel it. Not because he attacks them, but because he no longer needs them. His revenge is his independence, his refusal to play their game. They always do. They see his quiet and call it weakness. They see his solitude and call it failure. They see his restraint and call it fear. They're wrong. They've always been wrong. The Sigma male doesn't need their validation. He doesn't need their stage. He doesn't need their rules. And that terrifies them. When he takes revenge, it's not with a raised voice. It's not with a clenched fist. It's with his mind, his will, his unshakable focus. They laugh at first. They mock. They say, "He's nothing." But then they see it, the results, the quiet victories, the life he's building without them. He doesn't need to prove them wrong. He proves himself right. Every day, every choice, every moment he chooses himself over their noise. His enemies scramble. They try to pull him back. They try to make him small again, but it's too late. The spark has become a flame. The flame, a fire. And the fire, it burns only for him. They underestimated him once. They won't again, but by then, he's already gone, moving forward, unseen. Unstoppable. Time. It's the one thing they stole from him. Not with a single act, but with 1,000 small cuts, distractions, lies, expectations. They told him who to be, what to want, how to live, and for too long, he listened. No more. The Sigma male takes revenge by taking back his time. Every second, every minute, every choice. He stops chasing their approval. He stops running their race. He stops living their lie. Instead, he builds a life that is his, a purpose that is his, a truth that is his. He wakes early, not to prove anything, but to claim the quiet hours. The hours when the world is still, when he can hear himself think, when he can feel himself breathe. He works, not for their applause, but for his own vision. He creates, not for their praise, but for his own soul. Time becomes his ally, not a chain, but a canvas, not a cage, but a map. Every moment he reclaims, he grows stronger. Every hour he takes back, he grows freer. His revenge is not in hurting them, it's in living for himself, fully, truly, relentlessly. The world is chaos, voices shouting, demands pulling, expectations suffocating. But not for him, not anymore. The Sigma male's revenge is inward. He builds a fortress in his mind, not to hide, but to protect, not to escape, but to thrive. Every thought is deliberate, every belief examined, every doubt confronted. He doesn't let their noise in. He doesn't let their lies take root. He questions everything, not out of fear, but out of strength. What do I believe? What do I value? What do I want? His mind becomes a sanctuary, a place where truth lives, a place where clarity reigns, a place where he is king. They try to breach it. They try to tear it down, but they can't, because he's built it with intention, with discipline, with unrelenting focus. His revenge is his clarity, his refusal to let their chaos define him. His mind is his own, and no one can take that away. Pain is not his enemy. It's his teacher. The Sigma male doesn't run from hurt. He doesn't hide from betrayal. He faces it, he holds it, and he transforms it. Every wound becomes a lesson, every scar, a map, every loss, a spark. He doesn't seek revenge to destroy others. He seeks it to rebuild himself, stronger, wiser, deeper. the pain of being misunderstood. It teaches him to understand himself, the pain of being overlooked. It teaches him to see his own worth, the pain of being betrayed. It teaches him to trust his own heart. He takes that pain, and he forges it, not into a weapon, but into a shield, not into anger, but into purpose. His revenge is not in making them suffer. It's in making himself whole. It's in turning their wrongs into his strength. It's in rising above their noise, their chaos, their lies. He doesn't need their apology. He doesn't need their regret. He has something better. He has himself. And then, it happens. The world shifts. Not because he shouted, not because he fought, but because he became. The Sigma male's revenge is not an end. It's a beginning, a dawn, a new man. He stands taller now, not in arrogance, but in quiet certainty. He moves differently now, not in haste, but in purpose. The world sees him, not because he demanded it, but because he earned it. Not because he changed for them, but because he changed for himself. He is no longer the man they hurt, no longer the man they underestimated, no longer the man they tried to break. He is something more, something deeper, something unshakable. His revenge was never about them. It was about him, about reclaiming his soul, about forging his path, about becoming the man he was always meant to be. And now, as the sun rises, he walks forward, alone, but not lonely, silent, but not silent, free. You, watching this, you know this feeling. You've felt the spark, the quiet fury, the call to rise. This is your dawn, your reckoning. Your transformation. Take it, not for them, but for you.